This is what ended up on the cutting room floor today.
Have you ever been to the Museum of Old and New Art in Tassie?
Mona, love it.
In Hobart. It's extraordinary, it's confronting, it's beautiful, it's ugly. It is quite an experience, isn't it? The man who has put that together, David Walsh is his name, is hugely eclectic, as is his wife, Kirsha Cashel. She has curated a space in the museum that has been the subject of a court case.
Yeah.
We'll start at the news. This is the brand new news about this court case, and we'll go back then and explain what the court case was about. So, on Friday, Justice Shane Marshall overturned a decision made by the Tasmanian Civil and Administrative Tribunal that found that one of their exhibits had been discriminatory. It was the Ladies' Lounge. It was found initially that this had gone against the state's Anti-Discrimination Act, but that's recently been overturned and it's back to a new tribunal. So Kirsha Cashel, who, as I said, is the wife of the owner of Mona, she was a curator of this space, and essentially it was a ladies' lounge of art where men weren't allowed in. And that was because the whole point, the whole concept of this space was about the consistent exclusion of women from power and privilege. And one man said, how come I can't go in there? Took it to court.
Yeah.
And they were told it was discriminatory, even though the whole point of it was to show how offensive discrimination is.
Yeah, that's art.
That's the whole point.
That's the point.
That's right. It's showing a mirror in your face. And this guy said, I should be allowed to go in there. Yeah. And the court agreed. So this has now been overturned, which is very interesting. And so Kirsha has said she's actually quite grateful to this man who has brought everyone on this journey. She said, now more than ever, it's important for us to challenge our perspectives with open interest and refine our understanding. I've enjoyed every minute of this process because there were great shots of her and a phalanx of a legal team, all women heading into court to say, yeah, this angry man is fighting exactly what the whole point of this exhibition is.
That's exactly what the point of the exhibition is. It's crazy.
I bought you a soap from there.
Yes, thanks for that.
It is, as my hairdresser says, he's French, and he said there's an exhibit of a wall of vagine, which is French word for the downstairs.
Yeah.
And it's a great exhibition because it is about the variety of women's organs, and you never see it. So women judge themselves because I think theirs is weird.
Yeah, I loved it.
And I bought you a soap. You can choose a soap.
Yeah.
They also, remember they had the pooing machine?
Yeah.
And that at 3 o'clock every day, it would show the intricacies of the human gastrointestinal tract.
Yep.
And at 3 o'clock every day, it would do a plop that smelt like a human plop.
Yeah, it was just like you.
I said 3 o'clock. Mine's normally around 4. They didn't have that at the gift shop, though.
No.
Or else I would have bought you one of those.
Yeah. By the way, I need another soap. My one's run out.
Simon Tahiti. Put a seatbelt on it.
Yeah. It's Jonesy and Amanda's cutting room floor.
Making his way to the cutting room floor, and I feel a bit remiss that we didn't talk about this today.
It's a very interesting phenomenon. Men often feel that their wives and girlfriends, maybe both of them, text them for no reason throughout the day and are completely nonsensical and over-emotional. No. I saw this one. This is a guy who's on his own on a boat fishing.
Yep.
And here's how he explains the text he got from his girlfriend.
This is the type of text I get while I'm out here. Hey. And I said, hey. She said, what are you doing? I said, fishing. She said, oh, okay. Well, I have a question. Would you be against getting a horse? And I said, we do not have room for a horse. We have to buy a house before a horse. And then she replied, why do you hate me? And I said, I don't hate you. Where can we put a horse? She says, my backyard. I said, that won't work. Then after that, she said, I love you. And I said, I love you too. And she replies with, no, you don't. If you did, you'd let me have a horse. You might as well just break up with me.
Women.
And he says, what do you do with that? It is interesting because texts don't convey enough emotion, so you read too many nuances into them. Have I ever sent you a text that has made you go, what the hell is she talking about?
Yeah.
No.
Like the time that your car, you thought your petrol tank was getting bigger because your fuel, your fuel bill was more expensive.
Because it took more. This was a number of years ago. My car took more fuel than normal, meaning it was more expensive.
Yeah.
And I thought my petrol tank was getting bigger.
Yeah.
I know it sounds ludicrous now, but that's what I thought at the time. Remember that time I had to text you to say on my way home, this is terrible because you were at my house, we're going to be filming something. You and my husband, the two worst people to know this information, were waiting in my house. And I had to text and say, I've run out of petrol in the harbour tunnel and I'm waiting to be towed.
Yeah. You actually made the traffic news.
I had to, when they say there's a hazard in the third row, what's it called? Not the third row. I was at a concert. There's a hazard in the lane to the left.
Yeah.
That was me.
You were that hazard.
I actually became the hazard.
They should just say it's Amanda. She's run out of fuel again. Can't understand a fuel gauge, even though you have a car that can measure the amount of fuel it will need to travel down to the millimetre.
My car knows from Germany when there's a shift in barometric pressure.
Yeah.
I'm not as bad as I used to be. I always thought I'll get it down to about just a little sniff of petrol and that'd be enough. Now my car says you've only got 30 Ks left, you've only got whatever. And sometimes it goes up to 35 because my tank gets bigger.
Yeah, and that was the source, the content of
I've
the
got
text.
one thing to ask you. Can I get a horse?
No, you're not getting a horse.
Oh, you hate me.
There's nowhere to keep it.
You hate me.
Hey, everybody, it's time for Jonesy and Amanda's cutting room floor. It's the cutting room floor, yeah. It's the cutting room floor, yeah.
This ended up on the cutting room floor. What do you think about gender reveal celebrations?
Look, I was the sort that didn't even want to know what kind of a baby I was having until it was out.
Until it was crowning.
I was never going to do, in our day, it seemed exotic to hear of any kind of gender reveal. I remember friends of mine said that they got the doctor to put the information into an envelope. They went out to dinner and they said to the waiter, when we're having our dessert, can you please deliver our baby?
Yeah.
Meaning come over and give us the envelope and we'll. I thought that was the most exotic thing I'd ever heard.
And did that happen?
Yeah.
Right.
These days, there's cakes, there's cars that are coloured a certain colour that drive through. There's a whole lot of planes flying around.
One plane set fire to an area in America. Half of America went on fire because of a gender reveal. A Melbourne dad has had his car impounded after he did a gender reveal burnout. That's what it sounded like.
What happened?
So he's in Carrum Downs in Melbourne's southeast and he was performing burnouts with blue smoke coming from the tyre. So they're having a little boy. The local officers impounded the man's Holden Commodore, surprise, surprise, which is going to cost the guy over $1,000 to get back, by the way. It's rather gobsmacking, really, and very fortunate members of the public called through. Maybe they're ringing him with congratulations.
They're having a boy. So were you saying the smoke comes from the wheels, not from the exhaust?
No, it's from the tyres.
But how do you get blue to come out?
Well, I'm glad you asked. In the tyre, there's a polymer that goes into the tyre that when it gets friction going, it releases blue smoke.
And so what would they have put into the tyre to make that come out blue?
Oh, is there a rubber technician in the house? I'm not too sure.
Let me check.
Hang
on. No,
I think
she doesn't want to talk.
I think rubber technician. I think if you went down to Bob Jean T-Marts and said to Bob, hey, Bob, I've got a gender reveal coming up. Can you whip me up some blue tyres? He would explain it
If I had that in my tyres and I just drove through the gender reveal, would I be able to reveal the gender or do I have to go, Rah!
You'd have to smoke the bags.
And how do I do that? Just by spinning the car?
Well, you put your foot on the brake.
Right.
If you've got to get out of town, V8, lots of horsepower, you don't need to put your foot on the brake. But with your car, actually, I don't know, you might blow up your transmission.
What I would do, I just drive past and say, it's a boy.
Just ruin it.
I saw someone the other day, this was obviously a joke, this grown man goes to someone's house and he's completely naked, and they were looking horrified. He said, well, I'm here for the gender reveal. He was smoking his bags as well.
Well, the bag's on display. Anyway.
Is that enough information?
His car's now been crushed into a cube.
Has it really?
Yeah, a blue cube, though.
Oh, nice.
Hey, everybody, it's time for Jonesy and Amanda's cutting room floor.
On the cutting room floor today.
Well, push presents a thing when you and your wife had children?
No. No, you just had the baby. That's what you did. In those days, you just had the baby.
How old's
And
your
then
youngest? 22? 23?
Yeah, 22.
Mm.
Yeah, you just had your baby and then you get back to doing your chores on
Were you on Walton Mountain?
little house on the prairie, churning your butter,
Is this a euphemism? I'm not even sure.
tending to the crops in the field.
Look, this push present, the first time I ever heard about that was when Harley's sister was having twins who are now 25, I think, or 26.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, no, they're in their 30s.
Right.
They're in their 30s. And she had given birth to twins, and the woman in the bed next to her had been given a ring as a push present.
Right.
And Harley's sister, as her special reward for pushing out twins, was given a subscription to National Geographic.
Well, that's very good.
Yeah, this is what your bosoms will look like in a month's time. It's the first time I've ever heard of the concept.
Yeah.
And now it's become more and more. And the reason I bring it up, there's a guy who's taken to Reddit to say, what do you think of all this? He's blaming extremist podcasts and social media influencers for ruining relationships. He said his wife was acting entitled.
Right.
They've been married for 5 years. They're about to have their first baby. And about a week ago, she sent him a TikTok that featured a woman who was discussing what kind of push present she deserved. And this wife said to her husband that she wants a car. She wants a new car. So he is saying, I don't approve of this. He is saying, look, he's saying the gift we're having is the gift of parenthood and the hopeful outcome of a healthy baby. Materially speaking, I might give her a Mother's Day card or some jewelry. I'm not going to spend that much money. If she wants an extra car, it'll be our car, not her car for having a baby. It'll be our car to take the baby around in. But I like the idea. I'm intrigued by this bit. Extremist podcasts and social media influencers are ruining relationships, even in terms of proposals.
Yeah.
You have to blindfold someone, take them into an incredible location, have petals strewn everywhere, spell out letters, I love you, and spend $1 million on the proposal, let alone engagement parties, big weddings. It's all for the sake of photos now.
Everyone has an engagement plan, a social media engagement plan.
What do you
or
mean engagement plan?
An engagement plan of how they release the information, how people post that information. That could be for anything, engagement / wedding / baby birth, baby announcement, gender reveal, all these things. If they don't happen and no one saw them, did they indeed actually happen?
Did you and I actually have families? Because we didn't do any
Do they
of
even
those
exist?
things. Do they exist?
No, I know they exist because they're always into me for money.
And the flip side of all that is our kids, you know, they don't want you to take photos of them all the time. We didn't want that when we were kids either, but we had one photo taken a year.
Yep.
Now it's a photograph every 10 seconds. And the kids, all the photos I've got of them when they were younger is them pulling rough heads because they didn't want their photo taken. And I used to say, well, they'll be all your holiday shots from now on is you pulling a rough head because they don't know where those photos are going to be used.
We are so immersed in it, we don't even know. Imagine if we went back, say, just 10 years ago to 2014 and Instagram had started, but it wasn't what it is now. People now are defined by how many likes they have, how much traction they get, what sort of influencer they are. We don't even see it. We're immersed in it right now.
Well, people in our industry, in TV and radio, get jobs because people look at how many followers people have.
Yeah.
That's weird. That's weird
Well,
to me.
They used to say to me it didn't matter how many followers you had, and now it seems to matter. Remember that time when they took away the likes? They took away how many likes you got on a thing, but then they brought it back because a lot of influencers lost their source of income because they couldn't quantify how many people are actually getting into their stuff. You know, like my time-lapse photography that I film here each day to put out to the greater world.
What you do every morning is while we're trying to organise a meeting before we go on air, you say, I've got to do my time-lapse. Every morning, you put your phone in exactly the same position at the window. You bend over so I see your bum crack or what colour undies you're wearing that day. And every day, and then you come in here and say, look at this. And I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but it's the same picture every day. I know we look over the harbour here, but short of there being an invasion or a crazy weather event or a giant cruise ship, it doesn't look that different.
You know, I team it up with a nice song, the intro of a song that's got an anthemic feel to it to reflect the mood of the day.
But it takes about half an hour of your time.
Okay, how is it then that that's not interesting, but some kid deflating a beach ball?
Where? Where? Am I following them?
The kid deflating a beach ball, he's got a podcast on how he deflated the beach ball.
It's very good.
Don't even get me started on
78,000 followers.
Don't even get me started on Hot
Tour
Tour.
Girl, she's great too.
What's the world coming to?
It's Jonesy and Amanda's cutting room floor. Yeah, 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 yeah. It's Jonesy and Amanda's cutting room floor. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then it's time for Jonesy and Amanda's cutting room floor. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Are you ready for more?
What's there on the cutting room floor today, Amanda?
Well, I saw some footage, and if you were there on the day, I'm sure it wouldn't have been funny because kids were screaming and running around. But to watch the footage, it is so hilarious. There's a stack of kids at a friendship farm, a petting zoo, and there they are, and an emu gets the zoomies. Have you ever seen an emu with the zoomies?
What's the zoomies?
Have you not heard the word zoomie?
Are they doing meetings with other emus?
Frank, you've got your audio off.
Frank, I think you're on mute.
Stick your neck out, man.
Come on.
No, what's happened, zoomies are, well, I know dogs get them. I didn't know emus get them, but a zoomie is when, for it seems no reason, they just run around. They have to have this giant burst of energy. Have you seen your daughter's dog have a zoomie? And often, I think Chris Brown has said, sometimes they get it when they need to go outside and do a poo. But they run around crazily, and they often get it at night. They go brrrr, and then it's over. Cats get them, dogs get them. I didn't know emus got them. And so at this petting zoo, Friendship Farm, there's an emu just running crazily around. And an emu is quite big. And when it gets a zoomie, its body goes one way, its neck goes the other, and its head goes another way again. So it's like this S shape, and its neck swings from side to side. It looks hilarious, but it's running up and pushing the kids over.
Right.
And the parents are screaming. Kids are in tears. Kids are trying to get out of the way, and this emu just is running circles and zigzags. It is so, so funny.
When I was young, my brother and I were at some sort of petting zoo, and an emu took a dislike to my brother.
I'm going to love this story.
Which is fair
what
enough.
does dislike mean?
Dislike, it just started chasing him around, and I couldn't stop laughing. And he was chasing him around, and pecking him on the head. And Matt cried, fell into a little ball, crying away. And I was trying to, at that stage, rescue him.
Sure you were.
And I went over, but the emu had no interest in me. It was like he had a set against my brother. So I was going, okay, I was trying to fend the emu off, and the emu did nothing to me, but just kept pecking at him.
Can I have another theory on that? You say it took a dislike to your brother. I'm wondering if it took an intense like to your brother. Because Chris Brown, I mentioned his name again, did a story for the Living Room on a farmer that got in touch with Chris saying, what's going on? The emu is acting strangely, blah, blah, blah. Chris went to study the emu at the household, at the farm. The emu had fallen in love with the farmer.
Right.
So sometimes emus apparently go also for big shiny machinery things as well. Mm-hmm. You hear of stories of emus falling in love with Vespers or milk trucks, things like that. So maybe your brother missed a wonderful opportunity of having a relationship with an emu. Marty would be furious.
No, Marty was the man. Oh, that's right. Marty the Monster. There was Marty the Monster.
Marty the Monster was a big thing that looked like the big thing.
It got bashed up by a kangaroo, remember
That's it.
that?
Got whacked around the groin.
So Marty and emu.
Marty was the one that had his hand up the emu.
So it was a poor man's Daryl and Ozzy.
Yes.
Marty and emu.
But Marty and emu came before Daryl and Ozzy.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Marty and emu, yes, from America, but then was...
No, that was the Australian version.
Okay. There was an English
version and an Australian version.
Yeah.
Either way, someone had their hand up an emu.
And what about Lamsey?
You know, they were the days. These days, look at all the CGI that kids get to watch in movies, and they go, "Oh, that looks fake."
Yeah.
We were enthralled by a woman who had her hand in. This was a TV show. A woman who had her hand inside a sock that had googly eyes on it. That was the Lamsey character, and it always would. The only thing it would do was open and close its mouth and act shy and go into a shoulder.
You could stick googly eyes on anything.
What about Sooty? Remember Sooty? Sooty was a glove puppet, and all it could do was pick up bits of paper from a desk because its two hands could move to pick up a piece of paper.
And be shy. That's all it could do. All Sooty could do was pick up bits of paper and be shy.
Should go on a dating show. That's its, or maybe it's his LinkedIn profile.
And what are we watching now? Made in Bondi. Oh, God. Speaking about googly eyes, you watch it.
Someone's hand up someone's bum.
Okay, kids, and simplicity. Come back tomorrow. It's for all Jonesy and the